Hi, my name's Brock Gilbert, and this is my video about the body ritual among the Nakarima by Minor. So, initially, after reading the article, my first thought was, wow, um, that's a lot to learn about. Um, the Nakarima are very interesting in their rituals and beliefs. They basically see their bodies as disgusting things that should not be seen, should always be covered up, and natural habits such as bathing and intercourse are unsuitable for every aspect of their life. They even limit their intercourse to certain moon cycles, like certain days of the moon cycles, and bathing is not something that is talked about, basically, and all this other stuff such as making tooth decay bigger with poking their teeth and scraping their faces and lacerating their faces. And they have this almost basically unachievable body standard or body ideal for both men and women. Um, and a lot of it was just very archaic practices, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But interesting nonetheless, and understandable in some of their ideas, like their rituals make sense due to their own ideas. So, as a bridge to that, I'd like to bring up my own practices. It's not exactly a cultural practice, more of a personal practice. So, I go, I practice the art of chest binding and inject myself once a week with a synthetic testosterone drug. I do these two practices, rituals, whatever you want to call them, because I am trying to transition from female to male. And in order to do so and feel more comfortable in my body, I have to bind my chest, which is basically taking a binder or some sort of fabric and making my chest smaller to fit how I feel. And the testosterone was to help with other things like lowering my voice. My practices, from an outside point of view, would be seen as strange, I suppose, by many people. It would mostly be seen strange as from those people that believe that transgender people aren't, something's wrong with them mentally, that they shouldn't be that way, that they need help, and blah blah blah. But the way it connects to US cultural worldview or values would be the fact that in America and the USA, you're allowed to be who you want to be. You can follow whatever religion, whatever culture, whatever practices you follow or partake in. The U.S. cultural worldview on something like the Nakarimas thing that they do, their rituals would probably, they'd be seen as archaic. And still today, the practices that I would want to go through, like getting a surgery on my chest to make it more masculine, would be seen as archaic or violent because I'm altering my body in some shape or form. History has chronologically not seen what I'm going through as something as good. It was seen as something as taboo for a very long time up until very, very recently. When America first started, women were women, men were men, and that was that. And it's been that way for hundreds of years, thousands, millions, however long humans have been walking the earth. But now we're getting into this aspect of beliefs that people aren't just male and female. Things aren't just black and white. Some people feel that they're born in their own body, just like I do. And the thing is that the point of view of that men are men, women are women has changed, and that's a good thing. Because now people can freely express who they truly are. Whether you be a man who feels they're a woman who feels like they're a man, or either gender feeling like they're no gender, or both genders at the same time. And I think that's great because, as Miner said, well, it's hard for people to go through life when they're trying to hide how they feel about themselves, who they truly are. I remember for very many years before I finally realized that I was transgender, I was depressed. I took medicine for it. I still do. But my depression was so bad that I would go through bouts of just hating myself. So it's good seeing that it's becoming a norm now that people can be who they want to be and identify any way they want to identify. And in the words of Miner, the reason why it's so good is because it's hard to understand how they managed to exist so long under the burdens they have imposed upon themselves. And in a way, that relates to now and to the changes that U.S. culture has gone through to accept these things in a way that you don't have to go through those burdens anymore that you put yourself under. You don't have to act the way that everyone perceives that you should act and dress and talk and look. You can be who you want to be. You can look how you want to look, and you can do what you want to do. Just like the U.S. can't chastise the Nakarima for their practices, because that's who they are. That's their culture, that's their beliefs, and those are their practices. Just like my chest binding is my practice and my belief, and my testosterone taking is my practice and my belief. Thank you.